Images of the Vietnam War are powerful still to this day, and a reminder of so much pain and sacrifice for so many. One American who was there was Stephen Hardy. He was just 20 years old, in the Navy, and serving in his third and final year in Vietnam. Hardy took photos and filmed 8mm movies during the final days of the Vietnam War, and it all sat in storage for 50 years. He's never really talked about what happened, nor has he shared the images that he took until now. April 30th, 1975 was the end of the Vietnam War, but it was the day before, on April 29th, that was the final evacuation. Stephen Hardy was a 20-year-old dental tech serving in the Navy on the USS Okinawa.
That particular morning, we knew we were going to do it that day. At this point, the Marines were ready. They got the orders to go. I had actually went up to the superstructure above the flight deck with my 8mm, no video cameras at the time, no audio, and then started filming. And if you looked, and to me it was astonishing that you'd see ships from horizon to horizon. I'd never seen that many ships at any one point in time. Then it got really hectic. All hell kind of broke loose. And as the helicopter approached, the Marines would surround it and crew with shotguns and M16s. They would offload the refugees that would come on, throw things overboard, and then the quickest way to get rid of it was to push it over.
So they would basically bring in refugees on these helicopters one by one, and as soon as they got off on the ship, they would push the helicopter off to make room for more helicopters to come in.
More of the old helicopters coming in. It was unique. This can't be real. It's very surreal. And then they would take it to the edge of the flight deck elevator, and they pushed it over, and then splash in. And there is a sequence of photos that I took that you are in possession of now that shows that. I did go down to the hangar bay and on another break, and there was, I got it to where you could see they were pushing another helicopter over, and then I caught it in midair, and then when it hit the water, or they had a ditch in the water, because there was no place to land. Quickest way to get rid of them, push them over. I got assigned to the OR as an assistant in there. And the things that you would see, you just don't forget. There were multiple gunshot wounds. They had been multiple days old. And then helping the surgeons with that, and that is bending legs in directions that they don't normally bend. Abdominal wounds, where you'd see things come out that should belong in intestines. And once we started getting the refugees on, and I could take breaks in between the surgeries, you got to meet a lot of the people coming in, men, women, children. And it was really the kids that I felt bad for. Because I would go down to the ship store, I bought as much candy as I could, mostly M&Ms, anything in bags, and I'd start passing it out to the kids. And quickly got the name of Candyman. So trying to make their life a little bit better for as little as I could.
What do you remember most vividly?
There was one little girl there that I know she lost her parents, and she was there with her grandparents. She was too little to really understand. And that, I knew that was going to be kind of a lifelong trauma for her. But overall, how appreciative most of them were. In fact, all of them.
Now, 50 years later, you're just now talking about it more.
Pretty much, correct.
Why stay so silent all these years?
People didn't respect the military at the time. When I got out, you never said anything. Wouldn't tell anybody. If you did, they would call you names, maybe spit at you, call you baby killer. I killed no babies. I'm there to help, and I think we did a good job at it. And people just didn't understand or were more ignorant about it.
What do you want people to know when they see these images that you were able to take?
try to have a better understanding of what occurred. In recent years, we're seeing more and more of that. People thank you for your service, and that's appreciated. Compared to what it was back then, anything that I may have had at the time, I threw away my medals. I still have the ribbons, let me say that, but the medal part, I tossed those. I wanted nothing to do with it.
Do you regret that?
I do. But still have some memories of it. And like I said, still have the ribbon.
I can tell that it's still very emotional for you. Why is it still emotional for you?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
What message do you want others to take from this?
Well, that we actually accomplished something good out of this. We helped a lot of people.
Just talking to Stephen, you can still see the raw pain and the emotion that he carried a couple of times. He asked us to stop rolling because he got so emotional. And, to carry that burden, if you will, how he felt for 50 years. The only reason why he uncovered this box full of history right there, all the images, all the movies, the pictures, everything that he took, is because he's getting older. And just like this generation now, they're in their 70s and they're getting older, and he just wanted to give it to a museum, give it to somebody so that they could appreciate it and learn what happened in history. But it was just so heartbreaking.
Well, and the thing is, I think it's acknowledged by everybody now that it was a national disgrace how we treated these men and women who came back, these vets from Vietnam, baby killers and the whole thing. And
as you can see, it still stuck with him.
Oh, yeah.
There was so much anti-war sentiment. So, we were talking about how he wanted to give some of this material to the museums, and just recently, the National Vietnam War Museum in Texas featured his picture that he shot right there on their website for their new exhibit that just started this past Saturday, 50 years since Saigon. And when I talked to him later, actually at his house, he turned it into a sign, a beautiful sign, beautiful.
Wow.
And he wanted to give it to me. And I was so touched.
And such a great photograph, too, because the ditching of the helicopters really kind of, I think, illustrated where the U.S. was at that point, right? We're just throwing everything overboard and getting the heck out of there, as we
Sheer panic for both Vietnamese refugees and for Americans.